Not hearsay. Ooh.
I know.
Um, yeah, that's the hard part. I know that YouTube has some really great, not great videos, not even from like the college, but I mean, it might be a little hearsay from looking at like students' perspectives. I know usually people don't recommend that, but I found some really great, like total non-bias statements from students talking about their overall vibes and feelings of the campus. I think that's a good personal way. Instagram is another good way. And then if you really want to know in depth, talk to your missions person.
Yeah, challenge them with those questions. And by the way, just for clarity, yeah, I do tell students like check with the sources of the college, but after you do that, then go into their personal students' information. Because I think sometimes students will see one video and be turned off by that student. And it's like, whoa, wait, that's just one person. So yeah, to try to know it. So, but thank you for letting me know to clarify. But no one wants to hear from me. Tell us about the next college.
We'll stick with the UC. I'll go to UCLA.
Yes.
Now, I had already kind of visited UCLA on a little trip me and my mom took. I didn't get to see inside or anything. I just saw the campus. And of course, being a big school like UCLA, there have been a lot of rumors or like opinions going around. But honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of this school. To me, it just seemed too big. I know usually there's some big, on my list, there's some big schools. But for this school, I don't know what it was, but I just didn't really like it. I know a lot of kids loved it and everything, but I don't think we got really the chance to talk really more in depth about the school other than just taking a tour. So I think that was probably my personal downfall with the school was that. But the campus is
hearing from the alums and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. We just took a tour. And even then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. This is so big. We're just walking around. I only think we got to half the campus. But
no, that's actually a quarter, if that. There's a lot of hills because in the mountains, right? Not mountains for LA, and then and your dorm will also be on there. It's interesting because when my niece wanted to visit UCLA, she was, because of the hearsay, oh my God, Bruins, blah, 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 right? There's so much great information coming from that campus. And and you know me, I'm not bashful. I'll grab students. Hey, you tell me about this camp. And the student was telling her situations like, oh yeah, first day of class, you can't find a seat. Students were sitting on the floor, even during finals. Like, when Mia's saying it's large, right? Like until you get in your upper division, it gets smaller. And that didn't, and like the kid was saying, like, you have to be in a fraternity sorority. Like that's like eye-opening, like you have to. And I can't tell you, because there are some students who left UCLA because they didn't go in a fraternity sorority, or they were in the dance or specialized film or their specialized nursing program. And my heart just sunk because they weren't prepared for that. Now, UCLA, you're amazing, but not everyone is built for that. We have had some SI alums who graduate who didn't need to do all that, but everyone's built a different way. And so I think that's the thing, is you have to be careful of the hearsay. So it's interesting because then when we drove to UC San Diego with my niece, she didn't hear much about UC San, and it just took forever to find parking. She's like, I don't need to visit this campus. It's too big for me. So, right? Mm-hmm. Because nobody was bragging about UC San Diego, only UCLA. So she didn't go there anyway. So she's very happy where she went. All right. And then what was your next campus that you went to visit?
UC Santa Barbara. Now, this campus is so beautiful. Like right by the beach. Like you can see the mountains. Like it's just such a beautiful campus. But I don't know if it's because of COVID or just in general how the campus is, but our tour guide's like, yeah, my class sizes are humongous. I don't talk to my teachers, blah, blah. It's really hard to connect with them. And that was kind of a shocker because I didn't have any really preconceived notions about UC Santa Barbara other than it's a beautiful campus. So just hearing that right off the bat was kind of scary, but the people were nice. The campus was beautiful. The facilities look nice. But yeah, that was the main thing that I was really surprised at, because they're like, oh yeah, we had to move to a bigger lecture hall. because we're using the music lecture hall now because we can't fit in our GE class.
Right. Yeah, that's welcome to the UC system. My sister is older than me, so for everyone to know, I'm a half century old. So imagine when my sister went. No offense, my beautiful sisters, but I remember them crying because their lecture halls were really large. And even now, when I talk to medical grad students, stuff like that, I know if they got into medical school is because I say, oh, you had to be hecka aggressive to get research lab experience at the UC system. Like, like they really, aggressive. Now, UC Merced is the one that isn't because it's one of the smallest and newest ones. But again, it may not be a person's best fit. But I remember when I first went to UC Merced, so many students say, "Oh, well, my other friends at other UCs don't know their professors, can't do research. I'm a freshman, I'm doing research already." And it's like, yeah, you have to learn to be very self-sufficient, self-disciplined. But I will say this, every college should just be on a beach because it makes it so beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. And what's your last campus that you visited?
Oh, Cal Poly.
Oh, Cal Poly Pomona or Cal Poly San Luis Obispo?
San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly SLO.
Okay, Cal Poly SLO. Mustangs, right?
Mustangs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hear about Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, which is literally, I would say it's between LA and San Francisco.
Yeah. So this was my front runner personally as our tour guide. She was so great of just like telling us her experiences at the school. And she was so open with like, oh yeah, I talk to my professors all the time. My class size is really small. And she was great, like conveying the atmosphere of classes. And I really liked that. She even talked to me. I'm taking AP Bio. She was like, oh yeah, I passed AP Bio. If any of you guys are in AP Bio, come talk to me and I'll tell you how I passed it. So that was really nice. The atmosphere is really great. I mean, it was Parents Week. A lot of people were on campus, but it didn't seem too crowded. I mean, it is a humongous campus, but like the school actually feels kind of small. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm glad you pointed that out because it's one of the largest campuses in the nation because it's 6,000 acres, but it's really of agriculture and farms. So there's an amazing school of agriculture, which students don't really work on. So yeah, no, please talk about how the campus feels small.
Yeah, like you can see, like you can get on top of this small little hill and you can see everything. But like the school is like actually small. Like you can see all the largest buildings, all the labs and everything. You can see it, but like it feels so. I don't know if it's just like the atmosphere. It feels very connected and somewhat like open.
Yeah,
not really open, but like there are people like who were dancing and like the communities felt really nice and it's small and connected, even though it's a humongous campus.
Yeah. Now, I remember every time I go visit the campus, some students get surprised the lack of diversity on that campus. Was that an experience that your other classmates on the Module Tour felt as well, or no?
I think, I mean, the percentage, like we got the pamphlets that you made us and you can see the percentages. So I think knowing into it, I kind of already expected. But like, honestly, I actually did see a lot of people of color just walking around on campus. Like I saw it. So that's not an accurate like representation of who's actually there. But seeing it kind of also helped. I mean, me and my friend played this game where we would like count or like hit each other every time we saw a person of color, just so we knew in our brain like how many people are there.
Love it.
So actually there was that I saw a significant amount of people of color at Cal Poly.
I think my first college tour since the last century, the kids been playing those games. Very important though, right? It is important. I'm sorry, I interrupted. You were saying?
Oh no, maybe it was because it was Parents Week and everyone was outside. They were just able to see everyone. But I did see a good amount of diversity, especially because they had all the clubs out too. So I saw the BSU tent. I saw the ASC tent, the Asian Student Coalition tent. I saw the ALAS Latinx tent. So it was nice to like just see that. But also then again, it was Parents Week and there were people around.
Well, but I also think too, like, though there is no affirmative action for any public schools in California, because for those who don't know, that was voted in the late 90s from Proposition 209. That doesn't mean the colleges don't want that diversity, and people have been trying to change that. I think also at the same time, the internet has changed that for different schools doing different approaches, because also Cal Poly is not a commuter school. Every other campus is close to a major city area in some ways or another, except for Chico State. And, that brings in a lot more diversity. So Cal Poly they do an amazing job for their majors, but they realize they have a lot more work to do regarding about having amazing students like our Madra students. Any last words or wisdoms for anyone, whether they can't go on a college tour like you did or who may be visiting a school soon?
I mean, and altogether, throw away any preconceived notions and let yourself experience, because that's what really is going to tell you if you like this school, not if someone else likes the school.
Well, Mia, like I said, I've always known you're smart. You reveal in this podcast how brilliant you are, and thank you so much for all your wisdom.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, everybody, until next time. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your precious day to listen to us. So subscribe so that you could download this podcast wherever you may be. We're on so many different streaming devices, but also you can find out more information about College for All at www.college4all.com. We're also on Twitter at collegeforall.amv, Instagram collegeforall.amv, and more to come. Thank you and have an amazing day.